Old Fogey, Peter, is it true that some visitors sleep on the beach in Pattaya? It is, but I think it's been blown out of all proportion because what happens is people put up posts and say, "Look, Indians sleeping on the beach. They won't even book a hotel room," and it's not Indians who are sleeping on the beach. It's actually people from Laos and neighbouring countries. There might be a few Indians, I don't know, but it's blown up. People say things like, "Oh, they come over here, they won't even pay for a hotel," and that's not true because not when they come over in groups, a hotel and 2 meals a day is paid for normally. So I'm not being a white knight. I'm just telling you how it is. But it is true that people do sleep on the beach. It's actually prohibited, and there are patrols at night now to stop people doing it.
4 countries share a border with Thailand: Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, and Malaysia. Maybe some of the Laos, Myanmar, and Malaysian tourists are being confused for Indian tourists, or maybe some Indians are actually sleeping on beaches to avoid paying for accommodation as well. It could be a mixture of people, including Indians. We just don't know, right? Obviously, Peter's trying to clear this up. If you're in a position where you cannot afford a hotel and you're planning to sleep on a beach or a park bench, then just don't travel for a holiday abroad. Just don't do it. Don't do it at all. That's regardless of wherever you're from. It really doesn't matter whether you're from Laos, India, or England. If you can't afford the hotel, the accommodation, then in reality, you shouldn't be going abroad, right? It's as simple as that. Well, you could do other things. You could travel in your own country, your own locality, or a different city or a different area in your own country. You could do that. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be a more comfortable trip for you, right? You're not in a financially strong enough position to holiday abroad if you don't have the cash to afford a hotel or some sort of a decent accommodation in Thailand. Obviously, thank you, Peter, for clearing up this issue and discussing it. We've got to start discussing these incidents and unsavoury problems. Otherwise, things are just going to deteriorate. It's going to mar our holiday and expat experiences, so it's got to be spoken about. Now, as for Indians specifically, it doesn't really matter who's actually sleeping on the beaches, right? It's got to be stopped, right? And obviously, as Peter mentioned, the Thai authorities are trying to stop it, so good on them. But maybe the Indians are just getting blamed for sleeping on the beaches because some of their tourists, some being the operative word, some of them in Thailand are getting a negative reaction due to some of them behaving badly in Thailand, and there are publicised examples of this, such as peeing in the sea in Pattaya in groups and what have you.
A 24-year-old Indian man known as Tushar allegedly urinated on a Japanese businessman during an Air India flight from Delhi to Bangkok. Masand, reportedly intoxicated after consuming 2 glasses of single malt, relieved himself on the co-flyer seated next to him. Another story, unfortunately, from Pattaya, a video of 5 to 6 Indian tourists urinating into the sea at Pattaya Beach on January the 16th has sparked widespread outrage among locals and visitors.
How can it not? These are like adults, okay? Not even just adults. They look like somebody's father, even grandfather. Just going like this, just like, whatever. It's ridiculous. And they're being filmed, obviously, by Thais probably, or even could be other foreigners, but I've heard this. I have heard this. Again, out in public in front of people like that, just not giving a F. It just keeps on ruining the reputation, right? You have to be an ambassador for your country when you go out there, okay? You are the minority, okay? With an already bad reputation, you're only adding, fuel to the fire here.
Obviously, the thing to remember here is if there's a group of tourists sleeping on the beach or misbehaving in other ways in Pattaya or wherever, it could have ramifications on other tourists as well as the Thai government, because the Thai government, they could quite easily introduce new onerous rules for tourists and expats, making it more hassle for us to go there, right? In addition, if this type of behaviour isn't stamped out, and if it spirals because it's seen as acceptable and normalised, then it's going to harm the tourist trade in Thailand. Mark my words, it will. Because let's be honest, why would you want to fly all the way to Thailand from Britain or wherever you're from, right? and then just be surrounded by people peeing in the sea or sleeping on beaches or being unruly and cruddy. You're not going to do it, are you? That's regardless of where these people are from, right? It's not about where they're from, it's about the behaviour. To be fair, there are other groups being criticised in Thailand and Southeast Asia, such as the Russians and the Chinese tourists. A common sense rule here is a basic level of respect and social cohesion is required as standard. That's got to be your baseline. It's got to be a standard for everyone. Now think about it this way. If you wouldn't behave like this in your own home country, then what makes you think it's acceptable in Thailand? Think about it. So whoever is sleeping on beaches, being unruly and outraging locals and genuine foreign tourists, please just stop it, right? That's regardless of where you're from. Doesn't matter where you're from, just stop this bad behaviour.